the way I like to think about it is God has free will, and He gave that ability to us. So we both have the same ability to have free will and make our own choices.
I'm just trying to distinguish between Him knowing and Him enforcing our paths. I think they are very different things. Like having, like you said, the infinite amount of possibilities to do things. What if God's in zero control of any of that? He just knows what's going to happen. Like He just knows what choice you're going to make. You're in full control of what you're going to do and what's going to condemn you or what's going to lead you to Him. And He just knows what you're going to choose. Not necessarily that He's enforcing anything at all, but He just knows what's going to happen. So it doesn't change anything on your end. It's all on His end, and you'll never see that link.
If He doesn't enforce anything, then how does He have control? If He doesn't enforce anything, how does He have control then?
That's where free will is.
But
I'm saying He knows. I'm not saying.
But God does have control over the world.
He has control. He has control, but He also, free will is a thing as well. He can intervene in cases. He can heal. He can show His glory through all those, crazy sins and situations or whatever. I don't necessarily think that, He cannot know. Like, He doesn't have to know anything at all for us to make our own decisions for that to be free will. I think free will can exist with His infinite knowledge as well. I don't think there's a barrier in between the two.
I agree with that.
Because what you're saying is one has to exist without the other.
What? One what?
Free will can only exist without God's infinite knowledge of everything we're going to do. Or everything that could ever happen in the world.
Does God have
feel like they can
infinite
coexist.
knowledge of what God is going to do? Like, does He?
That's an entirely different conversation.
Does He have His
That
own
is
path for Himself?
Yeah, that is
Right?
that's so different. That's a very good question, but that's completely
I still don't fully understand what you're saying.
So what I'm saying is, you're saying in order for free will, or at least to make sense to you, that God shouldn't be able to know what you're going to do. So they can't coexist together, which means God's unlimited knowledge becomes limited because He chooses to do so. So that's on one side, and then our free will is on the other. I'm saying free will can exist, and God's infinite knowledge can exist at the same time, but God doesn't necessarily enforce every single move you're going to make. He can intervene, He can perform miracles, He can perform healing, He could lead you in the right direction. Like you lead a horse to water but can't make it drink. He can do all of that, whatever He can, that shows that He loves you, but He doesn't necessarily make you do anything.
But He knows what's going to happen?
I'm sure He can.
If He knows, you're saying He knows what's going to happen. He knows that I'm going to choose whether to follow Him or not?
Yes. Now, does that get in the way of you following Him or not? No. Because you made that choice. He knows whether you're going to or whether you're not going to. That's still your choice at the end of the day.
So He knows exactly who's going to heaven already and who's not?
Well, the names are written in the book of life. Already.
Right, but... Oh, you think that's like set? Like, the moment He built the earth, everybody's name was written and everybody's name was written?
Well, I'm not too sure about that.
That's
I
what you're saying, though, but
am
that's what
sure.
you're saying,
No, I
though.
am sure about His knowledge about everything. Which, if He did
So
have,
you-
if He did have, okay, hypothetically, if He did have infinite knowledge, if He did, every name would be in the book of life already, and then the names that wouldn't make it would be blotted out. Hypothetically, if God had infinite knowledge,
Right, which is what you're saying.
that would be the case.
Which is what you're saying.
If He did, I'm saying hypothetically.
But
If He,
but what do you believe?
I'm saying.
That's what we're talking about.
I'm saying, hypothetically, if He did have infinite knowledge, He would know who would, even at the last second of their life, would turn to Him and accept His word, accept Christ. At the end of their life, the last second, and have the name written in it, and who would reject Him.
Okay.
I feel like He would know that.
Do you feel like He does?
I do feel like He does.
So you feel like the book is written already?
So,
Is that what you're
I have
saying?
scripture on that. It was a hypothetical. I'm not saying I
No,
believe
but I'm
in one
asking
thing
you,
or not.
what do you believe?
I don't know yet. I'm leaning more towards that side, but I'm not 100%. And I think it's okay to leave room.
I know, but this is a conversation about what do we think?
That's what I think.
That the moment God created creation, the book was written of who's going to heaven and who's not before anyone was born. Before anyone was
Pretty
created.
sure there's a scripture on it. What does it say? What does the Bible say?
Oh, well, I don't know what scripture you were thinking of, but this is something to add to it. I don't know if it, proves anything or not, but in Romans 9, 10 to 13, it quotes Malachi, and it says, And not only so, but also when Rebekah had conceived children by one man, our forefather Isaac, though they were not yet born and had done nothing, either good or bad, in order that God's purpose of election might continue, not because of works, but because of him who calls. She was told, the older will serve the younger, as it is written, Jacob I loved, but Esau I hated. So before they were born, he already knew what was going to happen. He already chose who he loved and who he hated before they did anything good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I feel like that's a good question. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he know?
So is it like impossible? So those people who were written in the book of hell, it's impossible for them to change over?